Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video here on FPL Now. Today we're going to be going over my final team selection for game week 14. We've had Haaland updates, so I'm going to finally decide whether I'm going to captain him or not this week. So if you're excited for the video, drop a like down below, leave a comment, how is your game week 14 team looking like, subscribe if you're brand new, and let's get into the video. So, starting things off, this is what my team is looking like for game week 14. In goal, I've got Gaeta at home to Southampton. The back line consists of Trippier at home to Villa, Van Dijk at home to Leeds, Cancelo away at Leicester. The midfield consists of Foden away at Leicester, Zaha at home to Southampton, Martinelli at home to Forest, Andreas Pereira at home to Everton, and then up top we have Tony at home to Wolves, Kane away at Bournemouth, who's my vice-captain, and then Haaland, who's of course away at Leicester, who is my captain. The bench consists of Dalot at home to West Ham, Kilman away at Brentford, and then Billing at home to Tottenham with Iverson at home to City, but of course he doesn't play. So this is what my team is looking like. I've still got a free transfer. I think I've got 2.6 mil in the bank, and we have had Haaland comments. Now Pep, as always, is not very precise on whether he's going to play or not. His exact comments were something like, he's feeling a lot better, we've got a training session later, we're going to see how he is. So again, doesn't give us concrete evidence as whether he's going to play or not. So it's good that he's feeling better, but is he going to start? I'm not really too sure. Is he going to be one of those players that comes on for like 20 minutes? I don't think Haaland's that player. I think he either starts and then obviously gets subbed off on like the 60th or 70th minute or whatever, or he just doesn't come on at all. The good thing about the City fixture is it's the first fixture tomorrow. The fixture between City and Leicester is at 12:30, and so usually what happens with those early kickoffs is that we sometimes get early team news before obviously it's supposed to be like given out. The other good thing is that they're traveling to Leicester as well, so it will be noted whether he's on the bus, you know, whether he's actually traveled or not. You know, if he is injured, he's probably not going to travel, because there's not really much point of having like an injured player on your bench. So if he hasn't traveled, that will hopefully come out quite early on, and then we'll know early on whether to play him or not. So as of right now, because he's feeling better, and again we might see training pictures later as well, which would be really helpful. But as of right now, I'm going to captain him. But, of course, if we get early team news tomorrow that he hasn't traveled, then obviously I'm not going to captain him. My captaincy, instead of Haaland, will probably be Kane this week away at Bournemouth. He has only blanked twice this season. So Kane will be my new captain, and my new vice-captain will probably be like Tony at home to Wolves. And then I'm just going to play I'm either going to play my transfer this week, which is probably going to be Billing for Almiron, and just play 5 in the midfield, and then 2 up top, and then 3 at the back. Or I'm going to play Dalot at home to West Ham, who is obviously quite a good, I think he's quite a decent option this week. He did just score last night as well. It's like his second goal for United, but he did score last night. But he just looks a little bit better, you know, going forward and stuff. So I think there is assist potential in that game. It is at Old Trafford. West Ham are seemingly out of they've got quite a few players out. You know, Bowen is another player that is very touch and go at the moment. He potentially could be out, which is obviously going to be better for a Man United clean sheet. So I don't know, it's always more fun playing an attacker than a defender, but sometimes you have to play it a little bit smart. So that's probably going to be the situation if Haaland is definitely out. But as I said, if you do own him, I wouldn't get rid of him at all, because he's probably going to be back for next week. It's just this week that's going to be the situation. The other unfortunate information is we also didn't get anything about Cancelo. So again, he did have flu midweek, but you know, because no questions were asked about that, it wasn't brought. We're not sure what was happening with him. But yeah, I feel like he should be okay. Fingers crossed. And even if he's not, you know, I'd have Dalot anyway, and I'd just have to play Andreas Pereira and probably Almiron, who's going to be my transfer this week. But apart from that, again, Bowen comments were just that he's very like touch and go. We'll have to see what he's like. But obviously the main one is Haaland feeling better, but they've got a training session later. We're going to have to see what he's like. If I see training pictures later and he's there training with the first team and stuff, then I'm probably going to just carry on captaining him, because he's probably going to travel tomorrow. And you know, that's all going to be good. But I don't know, it's very risky if he does travel and he plays and you don't captain him, because away at Leicester I think is a really nice fixture for City, obviously. So yeah, I mean, Salah is also a very good option this week. I don't own him, so I don't have him to fall back on if if Haaland doesn't play, but I still think Kane away at Bournemouth is still a very good option. So that's how my team is shaping up. That's the Haaland news. There's not really much more to go over about him than that. Again, Pep was very, very subtle with his comments. He also said that, Alvarez is like the #1 replacement if Haaland doesn't play and stuff. So again, wait for hopefully early team news tomorrow before making a decision. That's what I'm going to do. Of course, the deadline is 11 a.m. But of course, they'll have to travel and stuff. So hopefully we get information before that. I'm pretty sure we got Liverpool news like 10 minutes before the deadline last week, and they were the early kickoff against Forest. So yeah, fingers crossed we get early team news anyway. Moving on to transfers. This is what the whole transfer situation is. So I've got 2.6 mil in the bank. I've got a free transfer, and I'm thinking of getting rid of Billing this week. Something else that I could do is get rid of Kilman and bring in Ben White and then play him, which I don't think it's guaranteed that Forest don't score against Arsenal, but obviously it's quite a nice fixture if you are an Arsenal player. It's at the Emirates, obviously at home, and Arsenal look pretty good. I know they just had a bit of a slip up in the Europa League this week, but apart from that, they should be pretty good against Forest at home. So I could always go Ben White. I don't think Saliba's a good option because he's got 4 yellow cards. So if he picks up 1 more, then he's just out. Also, Gabriel also seemed to pick up an injury as well. So that's also kind of put me off Arsenal a little bit in terms of defense, just simply because Gabriel's out and he's a massive option for Mikel Arteta. So if I am going to make a transfer this week, it will most likely be Billing out for Almiron. Another player that I did have in my eyes was Rashford. I did watch the United game last night, and Rashford looked really good. He looked very lively, scored a really nice header. He's 6.6, so obviously I can easily afford him. The only problem is, minutes. Is he going to get managed a bit now? Because obviously Martial apparently is going to be back too, so that's kind of put me off him a little bit. As well as that, what I wanted to do was in game week 16, I did want to go from Tony to Darwin Núñez, who is 8.8, and obviously if I have Rashford in, I wouldn't be able to make that move because in game week 16, Darwin Núñez does have Southampton at home, and I think he could bang in that game. And I think just for a 1-week punt, because obviously after that we have unlimited transfers because of the World Cup. So I think as a 1-week punt, I think Darwin is going to be a pretty good option that week. And so obviously if I go to Rashford, I wouldn't be able to afford him. Whereas obviously if I go to Almiron, I can easily afford that. So yeah, my transfer this week will probably be Billing to Almiron, and then probably play him over Pereira if Haaland is fine. Because I just think that the fixtures that Almiron's got for the remainder of like the games until the World Cup, I think Villa, Southampton, and then even Chelsea at home, I think you can easily score in that game. So yeah, Almiron's probably going to be my transfer this week. And then next week, again, I do kind of want to get rid of Gaeta, and that's just simply because they've got 2 away games after Southampton, and Crystal Palace are terrible away. West Ham, I don't see him keeping a clean sheet, and I think even Forest away, I think we can score against Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace are terrible away. We saw what happened in the Everton game. So yeah, I think I'd probably get rid of Gaeta next week. I'm actually going to do a goalkeeper transfer, barring like injuries and stuff like that. And I think I was having a look at what the best kind of goalkeeper to bring in over the last couple of fixtures before the World Cup. And I think Sanchez is probably the best option to bring in. He is 4.7, but I can easily afford that. He has, obviously Chelsea, I wouldn't have him for this game because I'm playing Gaeta this week. But then I'd have him for Wolves away. Wolves just don't score. And then Villa at home, I think, is a really nice fixture as well. And I think if I had to put money on a keeper keeping 2 clean sheets for the remainder of, like I said, before the World Cup, barring like Edison and stuff like that, who I can't bring in because I've already got 3 City players, I think Sanchez is a good shout. So I think I'd bring Sanchez in for game week 15 and 16. And that would be my game week 15 transfer. And then again, after that, my game week 16 transfer would just be Tony to Darwin Núñez. Barring any injuries, I think that that's a pretty good 3 transfers. Like, there's not really much point of rolling transfers at the moment because with every week we kind of get through, they become less important because we're all getting unlimited in game week 16 anyway. So if you roll a transfer this week, then fair play if you want to. You've got 2 free transfers game week 15, which is obviously good. But then, like I say, for game week 16, it kind of comes less and less important to have like transfers in the bank because they become obsolete anyway into game week 16 after that. So yeah, I don't see that. I'm trying to enjoy myself as well. I think making a few punts will be like all my transfers up until game week, up until the World Cup are just punts now. Like Almiron's, I mean, Almiron's a bit of a punt, but he obviously is playing really well. Sanchez is a bit of a punt, and even though it is just a goalkeeper. And then Darwin's definitely a punt. And then the rest of the players, like, I'm absolutely fine having my team in my team up until game week 16. And then I think, obviously, after the World Cup, it's just going to be very template again. So, yeah, I just kind of want to finish the last few game weeks strong. I've had 3 red arrows in a row now. Even though I'm still ranked, like, 21k, I've had 3, like, really small red arrows, or, like, 2 small red arrows, which has been really annoying. So I do want some green arrows. I think my team this week is definitely capable of a big, fat green arrow. But I think everyone is as well, because a lot of people have double Newcastle defense. A lot of people have, like, a Crystal Palace defender. A lot of people who have, like, this midfield, barring, like, Andres Pro, they'll probably have, like, Saka there instead. People have got, like, Mitrovic, who's obviously got a good fixture and stuff. People have got Salah. So I think everyone's going to have a good week. I think the average is going to be very high this week. So we'll have to see what happens. Either way, though, that's my game week 14 team selection and transfers. Again, I'm going with Haaland captaincy, unless we get early team news. If he doesn't travel, I'm going Kane captaincy, and then I'll probably play Almiron and Pereira, or either Almiron and Dalot. But that's kind of the... I'll post it on my Twitter anyway, so if you're not following me there, it's in the description down below, before the deadline, like 5 minutes before it. Anyway, though, that's everything from me. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, drop a like. Let's try and hit 50. Leave a comment. What's your team looking like? Subscribe if you're brand new. It's everything from me, though. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and until next time, peace.